Hello, my name is Georgina and I have suspected endometriosis, and I wanted to tell you about my story. So, endometriosis affects 1 in 10 women of the reproductive age, and that's roughly 190 million women. And people still think it is uncommon, even though it is pretty common. So my story has been long, slow and painful. So I've been having symptoms of endometriosis since I was roughly 15 years old, and I have been to 2 GPs. I've seen roughly 4 doctors, maybe 5. I have been to about 4 different hospitals, and I have been pushed away by everyone. So with my doctors at my GP surgery, I have been told that what I'm experiencing is normal for the menstrual cycle. Women can experience pain as debilitating as I am feeling, and that I should just take some painkillers and see how that goes. I have been told to go on contraception, and it hurts. It hurts because I'm not being heard. It hurts that every time I tell my doctors my symptoms that I feel like they're not listening to me at all. When I go to the hospital, because I cannot sleep, I cannot walk, I cannot stand, and sometimes I feel like it's very difficult for me to breathe because of the pain. I feel like the doctors don't do much either. I just get told to take some paracetamol. I get asked if I've had ibuprofen and paracetamol together. I get asked if I'm on contraception, and the cycle starts again. And I get pushed away. I have had ultrasounds, I've had MRI scans, blood tests, and they all come back negative. Now, when I do my research on endometriosis, all the scans that I've done will not show endometriosis unless you're in the late stage, which is stage 4. I don't feel like I'm that high yet, but I definitely feel like I'm getting closer, because my endometriosis has started to spread down to my ankle and into my wrist, and that definitely causes me to stop walking altogether, because my ankle swells up like a balloon and I cannot write my right hand because of the pain. And I was recently told that I was being referred to a gynecologist, which brilliant, don't get me wrong. I was over the moon. I cried tears of joy because I finally thought I was being heard. However, recently I got the call from my doctor, and they told me that the gynecology team called them, and I was told that they had to cancel my referral. I instantly burst into tears because it was the hardest thing for me to hear. I was told it was because I hadn't been on any painkillers that has been prescribed to the doctors, and I hadn't been on contraception for long. Now, this is the second contraception I've been on, and I've only had it in for 3 weeks now. The first time I've had it, it was in for a year, and I got it taken out because my partner and I were trying for a baby, but it didn't go to plan and I couldn't stand the pain anymore, so I got it put back in, which I did. And I have been in pain ever since I got it implanted, and that has now been 3 weeks. I have called 111 and they told me to go to the hospital for an overnight assessment. I didn't have a way to get there, so I called 999 for an ambulance to take me, and I was told that my pain wasn't that serious and that I had to try and find another way to get to the hospital, which I did eventually, but it was very tough. When I made my way to the hospital, I told the nurse everything that 111 told me, and I told them that I needed to be there for an overnight assessment because I was unable to sleep due to the pain. But again, I was just pushed away, and it hurt a lot. They told me to go back in the morning because the waiting times were too long and I wasn't going to be seen until the morning anyway. So of course, I went home. It took me about 2 hours to get home, and I did my best to sleep through the night, which was very, very difficult. I went to the hospital again the next morning after calling 999 to bring me an ambulance, but again, I was just told I wasn't in that much pain and to just make my own way there. So again I did. I went to the hospital and was just told to take paracetamol and ibuprofen. Now, being told all of this over and over again for the last 5 years is tough. And it has been scientifically proven that endometriosis pain is worse than having a heart attack and worse than unmedicated childbirth. And you don't hear the doctors telling them to just take some paracetamol and carry on with their life. But those who suffer with endometriosis are just told to take paracetamol and will be fine. Now, what I wanted out of this was just to be heard. Women with endometriosis all over the world, whatever age, need to be heard. We want to be heard, and we want to understand why it's taking so long to get a diagnosis, and when the estimated time to get a diagnosis is 9 years and 4 months. Why does it take that long? It's not fair anymore, and we need to be heard.